The Arizona Coyotes are one step away from a money laundering operation. They should be investigated. They should be investigated by, like, I don't know who, but somebody needs to look into this disgusting disaster of a team.
You mean the Arizona State Coyotes?
Yes, but if it was Arizona State, they might have more fans because,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I mean, their arena,
At least college kids want to go.
right, as opposed to, I don't know, a team that trades a player like Jacob Chikrin, who they told us for years that why they held off last year. We just want to hold on to him for a great return so we can keep accumulating draft capital and rebuild this team.
What was that?
Wait,
What happened?
just kidding. Because we are too cheap as a franchise to retain any salary, which is essentially a prerequisite for trading a player like that to a contender, which is what Chikrin wanted, obviously. They could have gotten more in return, draft capital wise, to trade him to a contender and get more picks and rebuild their team the right way. But they did not want to retain any money because the owner of this team, I don't even know who the owner is, but he's a criminal, basically, that is one of their 6 owners in the last 10 years or whatever the case is. What's the owner's name? Also NHL owners are the cheapest owners. 2 guys, Alex Merulio and Andrew Barraway, a hedge fund manager and a banker, whatever. Either way, sell the damn team and get him out. Get this team out of Arizona. It's just not going to happen. Bring them back to Quebec or something. I mean, get Quebec City, I should say, a team, because this is what they are doing, taking less value in a trade, sending Chikrin to the Ottawa Senators for a conditional first-round pick in this draft, and then a conditional second next year. Like, I think they also got another pick too, lower and further down the line, but they didn't get any prospects back. They just got more picks, one of them being conditional on the first round, and it was really just because the Ottawa Senators were going to take his entire salary. That is crazy because the Coyotes certainly have the capacity to pay it. They are only paying $32 million for forwards right now, around $8 million for defensemen. I'm rounding up, $3.5 million for goalies. And the salary cap floor is like a little over $60 million. The rest of it is just IR cap machinations and dead cap and things like that. They are taking, I cannot believe it, less value in a trade because they're too cheap to actually pay while still being cap compliant. It's just, it's like the rest of the league also just uses them as a money launderer for the rest of their transactions. The Rangers, they sent them a 3rd-round pick to do it for the Kane deal. They should not be allowed. They're driving down the value for the rest of the league, and they're also preventing players from getting paid because they're so poorly valued and refuse to spend any damn money that the salary cap is not going to go up because of these complete albatrosses like the Arizona Coyotes. Sell the damn team. You guys can't even afford to to be in your own stadium. Like, how are we going to grow this sport, which already has such a huge issue in marketing itself, self-imposingly so? They put it on themselves. I don't even know if they care about growing the sport because then the owners might have to pay more, and they're already the cheapest owners possible. If you're an NHL owner and you own a professional team and you're a cheap guy, you're going to pay for a hockey team, not a football team or a basketball team. Like, it's collusion, and it's unfair to the rest of these high-end guys that they are hamstrung by organizations making the league actively worse because they're too greedy to actually grow the game. So this is the limitations also of having billionaires own these franchises. It's embarrassing. The Arizona Coyotes need to be expelled from the NHL.
And this is what happens. And well, ideally, this type of management structure or trend doesn't extend beyond the Arizona State University campus in the NHL for the NHL's purposes, because we're seeing similar trends like this happen in the MLB, where rich rich owners basically are treating these teams as just simply like distressed assets to make money off of,
Yeah.
while just basically um earning via passive income, not trying to spend to make the team better, not trying to attract free agents, not trying to make trades, not trying to extract any sort of value, squeezing every dollar out of these players via arbitration when they have the chance to, and essentially all but actively saying to their fans, their shareholders, their staff that we are not trying to win baseball games.
Yeah.
We are a team that exists, but we will basically refuse to pay players until they come to us and are willing to play ball under our terms and are willing to take our terrible below market deals, because the only place that these guys can play is if they're not getting signed by some of the 4 to 7 teams in the MLB that are willing to compete and spend money. If they're not signing you, you got to come play ball in Kansas City. You got to come play ball in Pittsburgh. You got to come play ball for the Texas Rangers, and you're going to take the money that we're going to give you, as opposed to these. It is de facto bad faith negotiating, and it's barely negotiating because it's essentially capturing the players, the workforce, the laborers in an agreement that they have to take if they want to play the game. And so
they can get drafted there. They have. I pray to God they do not win the lottery, and damn.
Right.
Bedard has
to go to Phoenix or go to Tempe or wherever they are. Yeah. And that's just, I think, a similar it's a microcosm of a larger issue in the MLB, specifically with this team within the Coyotes. But that behavior, the way that operating style, it can be contagious, and it can be super problematic for not the owners but the players.
Yeah.
That will get less of the pie because one team is actively unwilling to pay into the pie.
It's embarrassing. So I hope that I keep thinking that the Coyotes can't embarrass the NHL enough, and that we're just in this continuous cycle where they're gonna drag down the rest of the league. But maybe this is the straw that breaks the camel's back. I mean, I can only hope.